The following program is a West Tennessee PBS special presentation made possible through the generous financial support of viewers like you. Please visit westtnpbs.org and make a donation today so that we can continue to make local programs like this possible. Thank you.
Mental health struggles affect thousands in West Tennessee. Coming up, we're talking suicide prevention, support, and how you can help save a life. Plus, raising a child with special health needs isn't easy. Details on the little-known program offering support for local families straight ahead. And need help getting your kids to eat fruit? Our Kids Chef has a sweet solution.
From your health to your kids' health, from senior care to family wellness, from what's on your plate to how you live every day. This is Channel 11 Checkup with Ginger Rousey from Madison County Health.
Hi, I'm Ginger Rousey. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Channel 11 Checkup. We've got a lot to cover in this show, but first, here are some health headlines. More than half of the calories Americans eat come from ultra-processed foods. That's according to a report released by the CDC in August. The average American gets 55% of their calories from ultra-processed foods. We're talking about things like chips, candy, fast food, and sugary drinks. And kids and teens, they're eating even more of it than adults. Among children 18 and under, nearly 62% of daily calories came from ultra-processed foods. These unhealthy foods are often loaded with sugar, salt, and unhealthy fats, but low in the nutrients our bodies really need. That's why it's so important to build healthy habits at home. Try adding more fruits and vegetables, choosing whole grains like brown rice or oatmeal, and swapping sugary drinks for water or milk. The Community Health Access Navigation Team, better known as CHANT, is hosting a diaper drive from September 15th through the 21st in honor of National Diaper Awareness Week. Nearly 1 in 2 families with young children in America don't have enough diapers to keep their babies clean, dry, and healthy. That lack can lead to serious consequences, from health and developmental issues to increased stress, financial hardship, and even food insecurity. That's why CHANT is stepping in to help. For 1 week, they'll be accepting donations of diapers in any size, with drop-off hours from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. daily at the Madison County Health Department. You can bring your donations to the birth certificate parking area located on the south side of the building. All donated diapers will go directly to local families enrolled in the CHANT program. If you would like more information about the CHANT program, please call 731-423-3020. Mental health challenges affect thousands of Tennesseans every year, and for some, the struggle becomes overwhelming. As we recognize Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in September, many organizations are working to break the stigma and offer life-saving support. Today, we're joined by Emily Lund from the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network to talk about their mission, the warning signs to watch for, and how each of us can play a role in supporting mental wellness in our communities. And Emily, we appreciate you being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This
Sure
is
thing,
exciting.
Sure thing. I guess we'll just get started with you telling us kind of about the mission of the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network. What is it that you do day in, day out?
Yeah, so we are a statewide agency. We were implemented over 20 years ago from a grassroots organization just based off of strictly volunteers. And we're thankful to live in a state that our governor and our leadership values mental health, because we know that not every state does that, but we have 10 regional directors across our state that are working within grant funds, and we're going out preventing suicide, boots on the ground, whether that's building relationships, providing training or resources for the general community, just getting awareness out about suicide, but then also to do what you just said, which is decrease stigma. And we know that the only way to do that is to actually have a conversation about those hard topics that people are afraid to talk about.
Yeah.
So that's our day-to-day job.
Yeah. So as you're talking to people, what sort of, maybe what's the most common mental health concerns or challenges that people in our community are facing?
That's a good question, because it kind of varies across the state, because in Southwest Tennessee, it might look different than Northeast Tennessee, But one of the things that I've really recognized in Southwest specifically is, I guess, the really big overlap of suicide and suicidality up against recovery. those in recovery, substance abuse, drug and alcohol abuse, things of that sort. And so some of my closest partners are all coalition-based or recovery housing, things in that umbrella, under that umbrella.
Yeah.
And so we know that, a big high-risk group of people that are at risk of suicide are those in the recovery community. But then also, an overdose is one of the most common ways that people could choose to die by suicide.
Okay.
And so when we look at those two overlaps, we have to say, well, what do we do to help with that, you know? And so especially in Jackson, Madison County, we want to look at what's out there, what are the resources out there? Because I think a big barrier that people also don't understand and know is, what are my resources? What can I go to? Who can I call? Is there a program out there for me? And so the more educated I think people can become, the better that they'll be off,
Absolutely. And what are the warning signs that we look for? I mean, drug abuse obviously is maybe a sign, but then what are some other things that people can look for, loved ones can look for?
Yeah. One of the trainings that we offer is called a Question, Persuade, Refer training. It's based off of QPR Institute. And so in that training, we look at what are the 3 biggest areas that you could experience with people. And so some of those things would be direct and indirect verbal clues, saying things, hearing things like, I wish to die by suicide, I want to die, I'm going to kill myself. That's very direct. Indirect being, well, pretty soon you won't have to worry about me, So hearing those kind of clues. A behavior clue is one of those things that, you see a natural shift in someone's behavior, whether they're super happy and then they go super sad, or the quite reverse, they can be super sad and super happy all the time. Giving away something that matters to them, just those unnatural behaviors that you probably wouldn't see in your everyday life. But then their third one that we really look at and look for are what kinds of situations are people going through in their life that could put them at risk. So things, we see any type of loss, whether it's a loss of a relationship, loss of a job, financial freedom, whatever that might look like, that effect could be suicide for some people. And so I like to tell people the only way we really get to knowing those signs is to be more intentional.
Yeah.
We have to be more intentional with people on the front end. In prevention, we do things to be proactive. And so I think that's a really big thing for people to look for on the front end, is saying, well, what are people struggling with in their lives? And then when we know that, it's by asking, and being a part
Checking
of their
in,
life.
yes.
Absolutely.
So if we recognize those symptoms, either in ourselves or someone else, that we're going through a mental health crisis, then what do we do?
Then a great time, or a great resource you could call would be our crisis hotline. I don't know how many people are aware or not aware, but a few years ago, our nation and our state rolled out a campaign called the 988 campaign. So they took the original 1-800-273-TALK number for suicide prevention and mental health crisis hotline number and changed it to 988. And that is one of the best resources you could have. That is, a number, just like a physical emergency, you call 911. For mental health, you also need people to help you, And so in calling that number, it's a real trained crisis provider on the other side, ready to take your call. You can call it, text it, chat it. And, we've seen a really big benefit from this, especially in youth as well. Because, one of the things I like to say is suicide doesn't discriminate against people. It's not like a thief in the night says, oh, tonight I'm going to go after this person. It's everywhere. It's all around us if we know what we're looking for. And then knowing how to have the conversation is also important.
Absolutely. As we think about the prevention, I know we just have a short amount of time left, but if you have a story to share maybe about a person that was helped either through your work or somebody being proactive, like you said.
Yeah. One of the benefits of working in this community is we get to work in partnerships with some of our health councils and coalitions, like I said earlier. And one of my closest partners is the Jackson Madison County Coalition Prevention Coalition. And they do a radio show every month. And I was able to hear a story that they were doing a suicide prevention talk on this show, and a caller called in and they had a whole debrief on this show about she was suicidal, and knowing that that was in vulnerability and transparency for the whole world to hear if they were listening. I had friends who had walked through trainings, known what to say, how to handle that, and because of that, that woman was able to go through, counseling and different things like that. And that's important because had, those two women not known what to say and how to navigate that conversation, who knows what would have happened to that girl.
And to being willing to talk about it and going back to the stigma.
Absolutely.
Look, it's important to talk about it and check in.
And you can't break stigma if you're not willing to talk about it. And oftentimes we get the response, well, if I talk about suicide to someone, they're just going to want to do it even more. And it's like, oh, no, no, no. It actually does the opposite. And it brings a lot of relief to them when we are willing to have that conversation, because maybe they don't even know how to admit that they're struggling themselves. So,
Emily, you've had some really good advice for everyone today. Any last thoughts on some resources or programs that people need to know about right now?
Well, we're always looking for volunteers with TSPN in Southwest counties, in the Southwest counties in Tennessee. We meet on the third Wednesday of every month from 11 to 12:30 at BHI, which is at 15 Executive Drive in Jackson. And it's just a time for us to come together and say, what are our resources? How can we make this community a better place? Because that is important, and the only way we do that is by getting involved, taking the time to do that. But then also, we just love people who care about the mission of what we're doing, you know, and it takes one caring person to make a difference in someone's life, and that person could be you, because you never know when you're going to need this kind of conversation. So it's just important to be aware, to be trained, to be educated, and the more that we do that, I think the easier it is going to be to break stigma all the way around.
We can be ready.
Yes,
We're ready to
for
help.
sure.
We appreciate all you do for our
Thank
community,
you,
and
of
thank you
course.
so much for being with
Of
us.
course.
As any parent knows, getting kids to eat their fruits and vegetables isn't always easy. But when you add a little creativity, even healthy foods can feel like a treat. In this month's Raising Healthy Eaters segment, we're taking a sweet spin on a savory classic, fruit pizza. It's a colorful, delicious way to encourage kids to eat more fruit and have a great time doing it. Let's go to the kitchen where our guest chef, Ellie, is ready to show us how it's done.
Hi, my name's Ellie. I'm going to be your chef today. Today we're making a fruit pizza. First we start with the whole wheat pizza. Get it ground up to put it in the oven to get it warm and toasty. While the pizza's cooking, we'll make our sauce. We make vanilla Greek yogurt with cinnamon and vanilla. Smells good. When your pizza is finished cooking, add the sauce. Spread it as much as you can, and then you can put toppings. And you can get messy with it too. Now we get to add the fruit. It's a healthy fruit pizza to eat. Yum yum. Yummy! That's good. I like to eat healthy, and healthy's great.
When it comes to protecting children in the car, a properly installed car seat can mean the difference between life and death. Yet studies show that a majority of car seats are used incorrectly, often without parents even realizing it. That's why Madison County Health is stepping in to help. Today we're talking with 2 certified car seat technicians about common mistakes, how to choose the right seat, and how parents can get free hands-on help to keep their little ones safe on the road. LaKendria Mays and Alex McHugh are with us, and we're so glad you're here. And Alex, I'll just start with you, just with the basics right off the bat. Why is car seat safety so critical, especially for babies and young children?
So to start, when we went through our class, they were teaching us all this. And to start with, parents, they're keeping the kids from being distracted in the car, and the parents keep eyes on the road, and the kids are properly restrained in the back seat. So the kids aren't like fighting over like who's doing this, who's reaching for this toy. But it also helps, like if you were to get in a car accident, the kids are properly restrained in the back seat, preventing kids from flying forward out of windshields or out from the sides.
Absolutely.
And airbags.
Very critical. But LaKendria, like we mentioned, a lot of parents think they've installed the car seat correctly, but then they haven't. So what are some of the common mistakes that you see?
When they come, they're not properly restrained. Like the seatbelt is too loose. They haven't remembered to lock it. The harnesses are even loose. Like they're supposed to pinch it, but it's still loose. They do not use the instructions properly. Like it's always loose. It's not supposed to move. And some other things, they just think they're just supposed to sit there. And we had one come, she didn't know that the car seat straps were cut, and she thought somebody had cut them, but she didn't notice it, so we had to give that car seat away, but they're not tight enough.
Okay.
Or they're up too high. The harnesses are up too high.
Okay. And what can happen if the harness is up too high? What problems?
The child could move forward,
Okay.
or they're just not restrained.
Won't be restrained properly. Well, I know you offer free car seat checks at Madison County Health. So, Alex, what can parents expect if they come to the health department for a car seat check?
So parents can expect to be there, let's just roughly say about 30 minutes. We do try to make appointments so we're not rushed. Parents can leave knowing that they will know how to reinstall the car seat, take it out, and then show us that they can do it by themselves. Just so that we know that if they were to have to switch cars or put that car seat in somewhere else, that car seat is going to be properly strained in that seat. And there's like no judgment, no question's a dumb question. We've got even grandmas come up and they're like, I got to pick my grandbaby up from school. Can you help me do this? And yeah, no questions asked.
Well, that's probably a good audience because car seats have changed a lot, and a lot of grandparents are picking up kids and transporting them a lot. So that really is a good service. But you do want people to call and make appointments.
If they have time to call and make an appointment, yes, that's best, just so we can make sure we have enough time to work with them. But if not, 9 times out of 10, if they say, hey, I'm out front or I'm on the way, can you help us? One of us will be there that can help them with that car seat.
Help do the check. Well, that's a great. Well, Kendria, what about those new and expecting parents? I know a lot of them, they feel overwhelmed. How do you help them feel confident about using their car seat right away?
Effective communication. We explain it as simple as possible so that they will get it. We also let them come in and do it after we do it and just correct them. It's simple. Like she said, no question is a dumb question. Just ask the question. We'll show you and make sure you're comfortable. And if you're not comfortable once you leave, you can always call back. Or when you have your baby, just call back again anytime. Or if that child needs to go to a bigger car seat, just call us and we'll show you each time.
Alex, can you talk a little bit about the different car seats, rear facing versus forward facing?
So now there's lots of car seats where you can basically have one car seat that can last you till your baby's like 10. We have 3-in-1 car seats, which is the rear facing, so that's like infants' car seats. Then it goes to just standard rear facing. And then we have forward facing, which is with the 5-point harness. And then it also does turn into like a high back booster seat. And then also go to a standard booster seat. Those are more expensive. You're pushing like $400 or $500 on those. But the standard ones are the infant car seat that you see people carry out of the hospital with, and those are your baby car seats. And we do, when we teach it, we go by the gold standard of protection, and it's you want to max out all capabilities of the car seat. But 9 times out of 10, most people can switch their babies out of that car seat once they hit 1 year old, because typically they're either at the weight or the height requirement. And then they go to, we like to keep them rear facing, that's just the best option. But a lot of people do forward facing because it helps with child's temperament in the car. And then they'll stay in that until they max out those capabilities, and just then you go on forth with the booster.
And needing to stay in the booster for quite a while, maybe longer than some people expect.
So you're really supposed to stay in the booster seat till your feet touch the floor. Because the way the seatbelt hits on your neck, if you were to get in a car accident, the seatbelt could essentially cause more harm than if you were just sitting in a booster seat where it's sitting up more across your chest. And the airbags, most people don't realize that airbags do cause more harm to children than they would do good.
Those small bodies. Okay, well that is good to know. LaKendria, final thoughts here. What's your message to parents or caregivers watching right now that aren't sure if their car seat is installed correctly, or who might feel nervous about asking for help?
I would say don't feel nervous, because I would think of the safety of my child. So if you're nervous, just call. We don't judge. We just want to help you in the safety of the child.
Okay. And so just call 731-423-3020. You can ask for LaKendria or Alex. There are 2 car seat technicians, and they can come either make an appointment or help you right away to make sure your car seat is installed correctly. So we appreciate you, both of you, being here and sharing some really good information about car seat safety. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, keeping kids safe on the road doesn't stop with car seat safety. As we head into harvest season, rural roads are getting busier with tractors, combines, and other slow-moving equipment, creating potential hazards for everyday drivers. Here are some tips to make sure everyone arrives home safely if you meet farm equipment on the road this fall.
Say you're a cool guy driving along in your cool car when all of a sudden this happens. You come across a big old piece of farm equipment that's blocking the road and backing up traffic. Now, before you lose your temper, here are a few rules of the road to remember. First, always maintain a safe following distance. This makes it easier for the operator to see you, and it gives you more time to react if they suddenly stop or turn. Next, most farmers periodically pull off on the side of the road to let traffic go by. But not every road has enough room for them to do this. In that case, you are allowed to pass moving farm equipment, but only when it's safe to do so and you can clearly see in front of you and the farmer. That means no passing on hills or curves, both of which obstruct the view of oncoming traffic. That also means no passing within 100 feet of any intersection, railroad crossing, bridge, or tunnel. And of course, no passing in any area designated as a no passing zone. But that one's kind of obvious. And lastly, if you see a piece of farm equipment swerve to the right, don't assume it's always going to make a right turn. Sometimes operators have to make wide left-hand turns that take up the entire width of the road. I know this is a lot to remember, but if you follow these rules, you'll help make the roads a safer place for both you and farmers. Plus, you'll avoid having to take a ride in one of these cars. And that is the way it works.
Raising a child with special health needs can be overwhelming, emotionally, financially, and logistically. But for many Tennessee families, there's a lifeline, the Children's Special Services Program, or CSS. It's a resource that often flies under the radar, but it provides critical support for children with special health needs. Today, we're learning more about how CSS works, who it helps, and how families can access these services through their local health department. And we're joined today by Jennifer Brantley, who is in charge of our CSS program at the health department. Jennifer, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So just for families who may not have heard of it before, what is the Children's Special Services Program and why is it so important?
Okay, so Children's Special Services is a federal program that can help provide reimbursement for medical services for children with special health care needs.
Okay.
And I think it's so important because it can help take some of that financial burden off the families and let them focus on helping their child.
Sure, sure. So can you talk about the kinds of health challenges that families in this program are facing?
So just some examples. A child that's diabetic needs their prescriptions, their insulin, their testing supplies, or a child with cerebral palsy may need some assistive devices, a walker, a wheelchair. We can step in and help them pay for those things. Okay. We can help them find where they can get those things from, help them pay for it, things like that.
Yeah. So we know no two families are the same. So how does CSS take like income, insurance, or family situation into account when determining who's eligible?
Okay, so eligibility depends on, you have to be a Tennessee resident. You have to qualify based on income, which is going to be at or below 225% of the federal poverty level. Mm-hmm. You have to be from birth 21 years of age, and you have to have a Children's Special Services approved diagnosis.
All right. So what would you say to a family who's watching and says, this sounds like exactly what we need in our family, but I don't know where to begin. So
just,
how do they get started?
Call us at the health department. Ask to speak to me, Jennifer, or somebody in the CHANT program, and we can get you all fixed up.
Okay. And that's what CHANT does too, is kind of help navigate through resources.
Yes, they do. They provide so many resources and help for this community.
Yeah, yeah. So you work with these families every day. Can you share a story that kind of has inspired you about how this program works or how it's helped a family?
Yes, so we have one child in particular, and he is uninsured. CSS is the only payer for his medical bills. He sees specialists at Vanderbilt, so we help pay for those. He's also a tube-fed child, and we help we buy his special foods and formula monthly for that.
Okay. So, I mean, it really does provide a lot of assistance for families and can really be a lifeline. Do y'all work with community partners like schools in these situations?
We definitely, with CSS and the CHANT program, we are out in the community. We do a lot of outreach with our programs. I've been to school health. They hand out our flyers there. Just different clinics around town, home health agencies, but like Le Bonheur, they send us referrals. So any kind of clinic that has a child that they think would benefit from this program, we would love to have the referral.
Yeah. Well, sometimes families maybe feel nervous about asking for help. So what's your message for them?
Just call us. We are there. We want to help. We love to help people. That's why we do what we do.
Yeah. So are there any misconceptions about CSS that you'd like to clear up?
I don't really think there's any misconceptions. I just think that a lot of people don't know about it. And that's one thing that I want to do is get the word out and get as many kids as we can get on this program and help them.
Because healthcare is so costly.
It
really
is.
is.
It is.
Especially with those kids, I'm
and
sure.
it can benefit even a child that has private health insurance. We can help pay like deductibles and copays. An uninsured child, a child that has teen care who maybe has used up all their therapies for the year, we can step in and help provide help with that.
Yeah. Now, you've worked at the health department for a lot of years, but you're fairly new to this role.
Yes,
So how has it been moving into this new position?
I have loved it so far, and I know I'm going to continue to love it.
Right. And as we talked about before, CSS is part of the CHANT program, which stands for Child Health Access Navigation in Tennessee.
Yes.
Are there any events coming up in the CHANT department that we need to be aware of?
We do a diaper drive every year. So Diaper Need Awareness Week is September 15th through the 21st.
Okay.
And we will be out outside of the health department some that week collecting diapers. So anybody that wanted to bring around a donation of diapers, we would love to have it. If you have questions about it, just give us a call.
Okay. And it's any size diapers, right?
Yes, any size diapers.
Okay. All right, great. Well, we appreciate all you do and for filling us in on this program. I know it's very important and a lot of families could probably use these resources. So just one last time, the number to call or website to go to.
So just give us a call at the health department. It's 731-423-3020.
Okay, and ask for Jennifer Brantley.
Jennifer Brantley or anybody in the CHANT program.
Okay, thanks so much, Jennifer. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Before we leave, a quick program announcement. The Jackson-Madison County Regional Health Department has a new name, and it's a lot easier to say. From now on, you'll see us referred to as Madison County Health. The shorter name helps simplify communication, but our services haven't changed. Madison County Health continues to provide the same trusted care and the same commitment to building a healthier region by serving Madison County and beyond. New name, but the same mission, and that's your health. That's going to do it for this edition of Channel 11 Checkup. We're glad you joined us, and we'll check in next time.
The program you've been watching was made possible through the generous financial support of West Tennessee PBS viewers like you. Please visit westtnpbs.org and make a donation today so that we can continue to make local programs like this possible. Thank you.